driftwood on the foreign shores, spilling out into the ocean floor, and the memories all you've left without a trace. Paralyzed with the thoughts receding, current sweeps you with the silent bleeding through the heart into the darkest place. Well, turn around, there's nothing to see here. Run away, no reason to be here. It's the ghost who never goes away. Turn around and leave this behind now. You see the ground as it bleeds in the sky now. You fight the sea, you're always gonna drown. All the secrets that you're holding, all the memories you hide, all the frail thoughts that echo in the corners of your mind, they won't even last a moment. They will soon be swept away when the ocean takes you in its arms and carries you away. You carry all your burdens on the cross around your neck. You take whatever's left that you could salvage from the wreck, and the hard past will follow you like a lost dog on the beach, nipping at your trail till you've drifted out of reach. Yeah, turn around, there's nothing to see here. Run away, no reason to be here. It's the ghost who never goes away. Turn around and leave this behind now. See the ground as it bleeds to the sky now. You fight the sea, you're always gonna drown. In a broken line horizon, in the castles made of sand, you tried to hold it in your hands, you tried to understand it. The ocean asks the questions, and it holds the answers too. It dissolves away the lies about the things you thought you knew.
Hello, my friends. 'Tis I, Dame Armiger Calirania. My heart and my sword are yours. And 'tis I, Adulath Karakai II, bastard son of a real bastard. Your hearts are mine. And as is the tradition here on this channel, every Sunday we are joined by the author of the story we are in the progress of reading, John, the BloodRedTiger Whitehead. Hello, welcome.
Heyo.
So, yes, as the folks in the chat have seen me grumbling about, there was a bit of bonus scuff getting started this morning. Google has, in their infinite wisdom, started requiring accounts to verify their user's age Uh, yeah, it, I think, is all just a scheme to harvest more photos for their machine learning, is my guess. But, and, generally collect data on people to do nefarious things with. Uh, so I had, oh yeah, only some users? Yeah. I had gotten the message sometime a week or so ago saying, hey, you've got to verify your age now. We don't know how old you are. The things are making childlike searches, really. I wonder what I was looking for that would have tipped that off. That's really funny. What is my search history like on YouTube? Now you got me curious. What have I been looking for? Okay. So, Spamton from Deltarune, MTG Goldfish, which is the one Magic the Gathering channel I sometimes watch, Homestuck, UFO 50 Star Waspir Clear, Snapcube, and Da Things. I guess those are kid things? Literally, I think all animated things are for children. Okay, yeah, I guess there's animated stuff here. Homestuck was the animation, and the Spamton. I was looking for the different animated Spamton things. That's really funny. But yeah, so I defiantly was like, okay, no, I'm not doing this. Just, I was like, you don't need to know my age for me to use your service, so screw you. And I just left it alone. Well, turns out by the time I got to actually streaming again, I guess one of the things that it does if your account is in age jail is to lock down the chat for your live streams. So I started going live and it was like, chat is not available. It isn't? It's like, so I did the age verification, then it let me switch the stream back to public, which opened up the chat, and then we were back to the races. So, adventures in Googling. Gosh, what else has been going on? I mean, obviously we missed last week because I had the EP. I was not feeling in any shape to stream. I have been doing some work to get that fixed. I had a doctor appointment, just telehealth, a week and a half back, and we have adjusted my meds again. I am on a different, slightly less EP, or substantially less EP, antidepressant now. So, and maybe starting to slow down the other one that was giving me the EPs. So, fingers crossed that helps me with my sleep patterns overall. I think it's helping. I certainly feel more alert in the mornings. I've been sleeping in still just to kind of get caught up on any sort of like sleep debt from general sleep struggles, but when I get moving, I've been feeling much less like I immediately need to take a nap as soon as I use my brain for anything. So hopefully that's going to continue to be better. Obviously, this morning we didn't really get started on time for various reasons, one of which being, the daylight savings time ended here in the States. That messes the clocks. And last night I had it was supposed to be a Halloween party. It was kind of too small to be called a party. We just met with like 2 other friends. We watched Alien, which was my second time watching the movie. Many times for Moth. Anyway, I've been yapping, as I tend to do at the start of stream. What have you been up to lately, John? How are you doing?
Did Halloween.
Yeah?
That was had a lot of projects on the go for all my NeoPixel experiments and stuff.
Right, you used them to create some decorations.
Yes. I had an Oogie Boogie cutout in the door window, which had a sound sensor on it, so when they knocked on the door, it lit up blue and flashed. I had some animated ghosts made out of milk bottles. They're fun. And yeah, my display of zombie gnomes and bones and things in the back of the car to attract attention. Plus the Christmas lights on the front of the house that we never took down, so they were turned on. And a giant spider cutout in the bedroom window with lights shining behind that as well.
Lovely.
The kids know that we're playing.
Yeah.
Because we're at the top of a hill, and the kids walk past the bottom of the hill, and if we didn't have the lights on, they wouldn't know.
Right, right.
So that's our summons. And then, this month is November, so NaNoWriMo for me.
Ah, right. You're continuing the tradition despite the end of the official site for it.
Yeah, I'm going to have to make
carrying
my
it
own
on in your own way.
at the end of the month.
Yeah, they kind of... Not so
The
much...
more I read it, the more I was just sort of going, what the fuck?
Yeah, they didn't so much shoot themselves in the foot as drop a tactical nuke on their toes, yeah. It's like they, I mean...
Scandal Jenga.
Yeah, like...
How many things can there be going on in one organization before it actually crumbles?
Okay, so there's probably even more than I heard about then, if that was how it was, because the main thing that I was aware of is that they got sponsored by one of these machine learning shops, and the writer community was like, everybody disliked that, because that's so... the whole point of NaNoWriMo is to urge yourself to output, right? Not to...
apparently they'd also signed up with... they were encouraging people to use an abusive publisher, one who just takes your stuff, publishes it, and gives you nothing.
Oh, really?
There was a group on the forum dedicated for teens, and the guy who was running that forum also ran sort of a very heavy BDSM fetish group and was encouraging people from one group to talk to the other.
Oh, okay, that was some years ago. That was
mix and match compatible things, but they were called out for that and did nothing about it. Apparently.
Right. Okay.
There's been all kinds of infighting and just horrible nonsense. I started reading it, and then I read a bit, and then I skipped forward a bit, and then I read some more, and I'm just like, wow.
Gotcha.
I mean, I never used the forum. I never talked to anybody. I used the website at the very end to say, here is my 75,000 word story. Oops, count it, confirm it's good so I can download the certificate.
Right.
I don't need, a bunch of people encouraging me.
Yeah. Like, when I first moved to this city, meeting up with the local NaNoWriMo community was one of the things that I did to try to make some local friends. Didn't end up really keeping touch with any of those folks later, but I did do some of the community stuff. People were very impressed that I would go to meetups and handwrite. They're like, what, you're gonna have to write it twice? You're gonna have to handwrite it, and then you're gonna need to type it all in to get the word count and everything. I'm like, yeah, that's how it went, because I didn't own a laptop at the time. So if I was gonna go write at a coffee shop, I needed to, use the pen and paper. They were good folks. I do a little bit regret not keeping up with them. What was that?
I cannot read my own handwriting.
Yeah. I was such a diligent student when I was a little baby grade schooler that I actually developed handwriting that is almost proper cursive. Respect for the handwriting NaNoWriMo thing. Yeah, I didn't do all of my entire NaNoWriMo handwritten, just whenever I went out to a meetup that was I would need to write it and then transcribe it, or then type it up, yeah.
My handwriting is like Mickey's. If you leave it too long, then the magic doesn't work, and I don't know what I was thinking when I wrote it.
Right. Yeah. Other good stuff going on. I just rolled credits on Hades 2. I've been playing that pretty obsessively. Not. I have some thoughts about the writing in that game. I feel like the micro scale of writing is amazing. Like, each line of dialogue is impeccable. The structure of the story as a whole, I'm kind of scratching my head about. But it would be a bunch of unnecessary spoilers to really talk about it on stream. Alright, but we should get into it. I get so social when I start a stream. I'm like, I want to just talk about life and everything that's going on with me. Talk and hang out with Chad and shoot the shit. Shoot the breeze. But we're here to do a thing, and that's reading Sunnydale Imp by BloodRedTiger. We are on chapter 54. They started it. We are in the middle of a retrospective of Mickey's life again, sort of, or at least vignettes from Mickey's life, because the crew is at Giles' place watching a videotape of a spell-based recording of Mickey's memories that the demon Murgon forcibly extracted from her after abducting her. She was rescued from that whole situation, and the Scoobies confiscated one of the tapes and is now working their way through that. The purchaser of the blood and bits and so on and so forth of Mickey has now been eaten by other Zaradai. But, right. Oh, hello, Eva. Welcome. Good to see you. Yeah, any other notes before we dive into it, John?
There's a picture in this one.
Oh, pictures. Okay. Well, after all, I am underage. I need picture books, right? Yeah. Okay. So, and I did, just when peeking to set up the stream preview and everything, the little promo blurb and all, that we are starting with a story about a witch, which I thought was appropriate enough for just being past Halloween.
Yep.
Alright. Felina the witch had cursed her whole village. Nobody knew why, or none of them would admit to knowing. Whatever the reason, no children had been born in years, the crops were sickly, and even the animals were dying of mysterious illnesses. The witch was to blame, and she needed to go. Jack and Mickey were passing through, and agreed to go have a word with the dreaded witch of the forest. No sooner had they agreed than a cackling, skull-faced apparition appeared in the smoke above the tavern's fireplace. "Fools!" it screeched. "Interfere at your peril!" Well, that's pretty much an admission of guilt, growled Jack. We better go take a look. The cursed forest wasn't far from the cursed village, as it went on foot. A group of bandits lurked in wait at the forest's edge, and they rushed to the attack when they spotted the pair approaching. Jack sighed and lashed them with lightning as they charged. Mickey mopped up the stragglers with a few well-placed punches and kicks. Then they continued on their way. It was a random encounter, quickly disposed of. It's like one of these, like, Final Fantasy random encounters. You're, like, walking back through the early game area when you're 30 levels above it, and it's like 2 imps and an imp captain, and you you do one spell or just hold down the attack command and then it just deletes everything. Goons. Mickey's supernatural eyesight picked out large shapes moving through the forest, shadowing the pair as they followed the path. Something's hurting us, she whispered to Jack. I see him, he murmured back. So long as they keep their distance, I got no problem with them. Looks like something big. It might be bears. What if it's bears? Just ignore them for now. I'll keep an eye out. Okay. But Mickey maintained a watchful eye just in case. They reached the witch's house, a long, low cabin surrounded by trees. Chittering creatures descended from the tree line, a small group of goblins, and a pair of huge brown bears. The creatures took up defensive positions and the goblins scurried around their feet. Mickey tensed, and Jack placed a furry hand on her shoulder. Just relax, he said. I'll handle the bears. You deal with the goblins, okay? Right. The bears had big claws and even bigger teeth. The goblins, by contrast, had short swords and stubby bows. Mickey's reflexes were faster, and she could deal with goblins easily. She spread her wings and swooped among the rowdy little bastards, stabbing and breaking bones with her fork. When she was done, she looked around to see that Jack had killed the last of the bears. He didn't look very happy about it, but they were big, scary bears working to protect an evil witch, so there wasn't any better way of getting past them. Jack wiped his sword grimly. If she's brought in physical defenders, there probably aren't any magical traps blocking our path. Too much chance of them triggering and killing off our own troops. Mickey teleported to the front door anyway, just in case, and watched closely as Jack followed. Sure enough, there were no active traps, and they entered the house together. Ah, Righticorn, we are in a flashback. Yeah. You know, John, you can speak aloud. I will shut up and let you talk. I promise.
Going.
What?
I don't want to talk over you while you're going. Yes, this is Nikki's memories of various prior settings that she's been in.
Right, and
So the cursed village and skeletons and zombies and all that stuff is all from a fantasy setting.
Right, and we're watching this on a VHS tape through a view through a magical scrying pool into a replay of her memories. Yeah, so it's Scooby Gang, TV, scrying pool, Mickey's memory. And then us reading it and YouTube. It's like 6 layers of content here.
A live roleplay that I ran as a campaign in Neverwinter Nights using the editor. So I scripted all of this and my ice played through it.
So when I chime in, does that count as another layer? More of a side branch, maybe? Since it's like a different part of my brain that's being presented to the audience? Oh, alright, I buy that. Okay. Da, 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 da. You're in a voice call, you can stream it to other people? Sure. Yeah, I mean, if you want to share my channel with more audience, you know, I'm not going to complain about having more viewers, even if it's at a remove. There are like a dozen different types of zombies in Buffy and Angel, and none of them are even vaguely related to each other. Yeah, I mean, even in our world, like in folklore, there's all different kinds. Like the ones that tend to show up in video games and TV shows and Western culture all kind of grew out of like the what is it? What was the first big zombie movie? Night Night of the Living Dead? Was that really the big one that kicked it off? Oh yeah, yeah, we could do reaction videos.
I don't know which one came first.
Yeah, but so when we think of zombie, that's what tends to come to mind. But the word zombie comes from Voodoo, I think. It was like uh, a sort of animated corpse servitor of a Hungan, I think.
I don't know if they actually needed to be dead. I think they were just drugged and hypnotized as a worker.
Oh, right. Yeah, I think you're right about that.
Purposes, they seemed like a walking corpse.
Yeah, gotcha, yeah. Just a hypnotized person with extreme brain damage from pufferfish poison. Oh dear. Yeah. And to be safe, both extremes' first reaction video is the no reaction style, and then reacting to that reaction, the pause every 3 seconds. Yeah. Oh, God.
They're absolutely deadpan all the way through it.
We have to go deeper. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, gosh. There's, in fact, one of the streamers that I used to watch of he was a streamer of Path of Exile, which I was really into for a while. And I'm blanking on even what his name was. It wasn't Co-Carnage, though Co-Carnage did do some Path of Exile for a little while. And it wasn't... Oh, wasn't the World of Warcraft guy either. There was another dude. But anyway, he had kind of a running joke on his stream that there was a clip of his. It was some relatively unremarkable moment of him oohing and ahhing over a loot drop or something. But his stream chat would be like, hey, look at this clip. And would share this clip with him and be like, oh, okay, well, let's do a reaction to this clip. And it was his own clip. And then they would clip that and just like see how many times they could get it on stream in sort of a Hall of Mirrors effect of him reacting to his clip, of him reacting to his clip, of him reacting to his clip. Okay, wipes their mind makes them heavily suggestible if done correctly. In fact, Giles' voice actor was the host on a show that covered this exact subject. Oh, fascinating. Okay. Huh. Alright. We're getting into all sorts of sidetracks today. Okay. But yeah, and anyway, those are only 2 of the types of zombie that you might run across in different folklores. Right, yeah. And then, you know, Buffy being Buffy just draws from wherever. It's just like, all monsters are real, so... You can add a little window that streams your stream. Oh no. No. Okay. Right. The interior was dingy and dirty and dusty and brown. Nasty dried up body parts hung from hooks on the walls and ceiling, and foul smoke hung in the air. The witch herself stood in the center of the room, watching over a black cauldron that hung over a weird-looking fire. The flames were green, and cast the room in a very creepy, flickering light. But Lena looked nothing like her reputation suggested, and certainly nothing like the apparition in the tavern. She was clear-skinned, upright, and healthy-looking, certainly in better health than the villagers. She wore a flowing black dress with a tall, stiff collar and inset panels of purple velvet. No tall black hat, though. Her jet-black hair whirled out around her as she spun and pointed with hooked fingers. You dare interfere with my great work? Jack gave his sword a swish. Yeah, it's kind of what we do. Pathetic mortal lackeys of a foolish goddess! My master's power will destroy you with a single word. She muttered a weird chant, waved her hands about, and conjured up a ball of crackling red energy. Apparently, the magic word was die, because that's what she shrieked as she flung her hands toward Jack. Mickey pushed off and dived in front of Jack. She was pretty sure she could absorb the magic, but it hurt really bad, and she felt hot and cold all over. Her muscles turned to jelly. She dropped to her knees, then toppled face first to the floor. As darkness closed in, the last thing she heard was Jack's agonized howl. Zorch. A little too zoomed in to see the whole picture, to make the text of a ginormous size for me to read and for chat to read. But there she is, getting zapped. Jack with his sword in one hand and pistol in the other. True Horror with Anthony Head, Episode 5, Zombies. Okay. Giles stopped the tape.
Let me guess. You were merely stunned or the spell misfired?
Mickey shook her head, eyes wide. Nuh-uh. That was a nasty one. Killed me stone dead. Stopped my heart and everything. She shrugged. Could have been worse, though. Imagine if she'd killed Jack instead.
But you clearly survived, or you wouldn't be here.
Well, Jack managed to track down 2 of my possible futures, and together they rebuilt me from their memories.
What?
Mickey's retelling of the story was vague and complex to the point of lunacy, not helped in the least that she'd only heard the tale secondhand herself. She told them that Jack had lost his mind for a little while and torn the witch to shreds, before setting out on an epic quest to undo the killing spell and restore the imp to life. Willow looked uncomfortable. Couldn't Verity have done it? Brought you back, I mean? Oh, sure. She's rebuilt me loads of times. But Jack's sort of a lone wolf. He doesn't like asking for help. But he's got you. You help him all the time, no? That's different. He knows he doesn't need to ask me. Mickey shrugged. But otherwise, he'll try to do it by himself. Gosh. There are so many people in my life who are like that. Like, they want help, but they don't like to ask for it. You're supposed to just, help without being asked. Okay. And so he had, and he had succeeded against all odds. He traveled into a realm of possible futures to seek out powerful heroes, and there he encountered avatars of Makisha's majestic destiny, foretold by Queen Mania's stolen ring. Also, Anthony Head's thing only had 5 episodes: vampires, demons, werewolves, witches, and finally zombies. With the last one having troubles due to the 2004 Haitian coup d'etat. Oh dear.
Did that involve zombies?
Maybe.
Did you need to interview some?
Right. By combining aspects of their shared history, the pieces they had in common, they rebuilt the Mickey he knew and loved. Sadly, the two aspects weren't exactly friends, and left before she got the chance to wake up and meet them. Ah, so Mickey didn't end up with another Mickey or two as headmates? Such a shame. She's got enough else going on. She does still have two souls, which, does that have anything to do with this? No, that's a whole different thing.
Whole different thing.
Buffy's mind reeled. So, to recap, you know that you have two possible future selves? Mickey shrugged. At least two? Maybe more. I didn't get to meet them, but Jack said they were cool. But one of them is a badass succubus chick. Mickey Shazan! Mickey Shazan! I don't think Mickey would mispronounce her own future name. Mickey Shazan. Mickey Shazan. And the other is an angel. Mikisha, yeah. Pretty weird, huh? That's why nobody knows what my true name is. I was born bad, but turned good, so now my inner essence is a total mystery. So, you were born in hell, you've killed a god, and one day in the future you believe you may become an angel. No wonder you've got weird ideas about religion. Everybody's got weird ideas about religion. Religion's a weird thing. I mean, Netherworld wasn't a proper god like Verity. He didn't create anything. He just wanted to take over because he could draw out the evil in people and make them his slaves. But that didn't work on you, I take it. Mickey grins. Grins?
We'll fix.
He could only draw out somebody's inner secret darkness. I don't have that. That's how we tricked him. He was smart and powerful, but he made a bad assumption, and we let him think he could take control of our most powerful weapon. Which was you. Yeah, but only as a distraction. Jack's the one who actually finished him off. The next scene took place in a pleasant modern park. Robed and hooded men were closing in from all sides, and Mickey wanted to know how she should proceed. Wait, didn't we already do this one? Or no, maybe we only came up to this moment in this one.
This is a different view.
Okay. If they hurt you, go to Code Black. Kill the fucking lot.
Yeah.
Cheered Xander as Giles paused the tape.
I like this guy's priorities.
Willow turned to Mickey, eyes wide. I have questions. Why is he a normal wolf now? Don't know, replied Mickey with a shrug. How come you can hear his voice, but his mouth's not moving? He's got mind powers, but most people can't hear him. He used to sort of stun people with it, but when he's like this, he can talk with it instead. Buffy raised a hand. What's Code Black? Code Black means no messing about, no showing off, no taking risks, no playing fair. Hard and fast. Kill, kill, kill. Buffy and Giles nodded, appreciating the wisdom. Xander and Willow just looked a little sick. Sounds serious, commented Buffy. Giles resumed the playback, and they watched closely. Oh, could you all hear that?
What?
Oh, apparently not. My cat is meowing in the background. She has gotten bold and has wandered towards the office. She doesn't often come very, like, this far into this floor of the house, but she's gotten more courageous recently for some reason. I think she won mainly because... Oh, so it did come through some. All right. 2 forms of feline, yeah. Wait, do I not count as another form? Another species, right? and well, John's wearing a cat-like avatar too, so. But I guess 2 forms. Okay, we got like anthrofelines and non-anthrofelines.
Those who can and can't open a tin using a tin opener.
Right. Jack is the telepathic wolves trope. I didn't even know there was a trope about telepathic wolves.
He's only telepathic when he can't speak.
Right, because otherwise it'd be very difficult to carry on a roleplay with Eyes if Eyes couldn't talk at all. Okay. Where were we? Right. Styles, resume the playback. I watched closely. They're not the Knights of Purity, snorted Mickey. Just some bunch of idiots with guns and a bit of magic stuff. Then the fighting started, and as the robed men attacked the pair without explanation, their motive became clear soon enough when one man complained about bad information.
They think Jack's a hellhound?
Whoa, okay. Suddenly you just got a lot louder, John. Hang on. Don't know what you did, but
I can move further away.
yeah, you're like just suddenly got all very boomy. Let's see.
Should I talk a bit so you can adjust me?
Yeah.
Beep boop beep beep.
Maybe let me put you back down to normal volume in Discord. I wonder what changed there. Okay. Hello again?
Hello.
Okay. Yeah, something changed dramatically with your sound quality there. I changed the compressor a little bit. A little less output gain on that. See how that goes. I wonder, did your system like change? Did your Discord change what your input mic was or something? Weird. Okay.
I have touched nothing.
Yeah.
Should I try again? They think Jack's a hellhound?
7.5. Okay, try it like that. Okay. Asked Xander. Mickey began taking them down, and Buffy braced herself for a massacre. She fully expected the first punch to reduce her opponent to a bloody smudge, and when that didn't happen, she grunted in surprise. Huh. Holding back? Not really, but I wasn't as strong there as I am here. I had a bit of super strength, but I couldn't make the magic work for me. Oh, there are a lot of stories with the premise of setting as presented in the media, but also everyone has a soul-bonded telepathic wolf with them. Huh, okay. See, like, I've read his Dark Materials, or most of it, and that had the whole thing with the little animal companions that everybody got bonded to when they came of age, whatever the age was. But I didn't know that was, like, all over the place. Huh, fun. You're fighting guys with guns, and you don't have any magic? They started it! When the enemy leader put in an appearance, Xander lit up with genuine excitement.
A real supervillain? You fought actual super people?
They started it! She protested again, louder this time. We just wanted to walk in the park, and ice cream. Giles resumed the action and quickly paused it again when Mickey summoned her pitchfork. The unspoken question hung in the air. Mickey just smiled to herself. I have a magic pitchfork. It's awesome. While you do like wolves, can you have a different form of canine? Yeah. the everyone has a demon premise has about the same level of penetration in the fanfic scene. So, like, fanfic for any...
Phrasing.
What's that?
Phrasing.
Gotcha. So, like, fanfic in general likes to make versions of settings with everybody having animal companions. That is wild. I'd never, like, really run across that. And I guess I'm not...
Everyone has a transformer.
Everyone has a transformer?
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Okay. Everyone has a magic pitchfork. It's awesome. Like, why not? Oh, gosh. Wild. Yeah, my forays into fanfiction have been more the, like... Well, my friend Moss likes to write sort of the, romance and, sort of like redemption arc for the villain kind of thing and smut stuff. I haven't read all of it, but I keep wanting to talk them into letting me read that on stream. Maybe skipping the smut parts, depending on where I'm streaming it, but whereas the fanfiction that I've written has usually been like random canon-compliant side story stuff, or like fix-it kind of things, where if I didn't like the ending or whatever, I like rewrite an ending. When people reach the age of majority, one item of tech becomes sentient and can transform into a robot. Sick, yeah. Alright, well, that can be your next story. What are you doing for this November after all?
I'm doing the sequel, or I'm carrying on from last year's thing, where it's a conventional superhero setting, but we have a new character whose codename is Dog.
Okay, well, whatever you did, you have fixed the booming issue.
Okay.
So you're back to
Dog
normal now.
Dog is a creature from a realm of nothing but fire. So the Earth seems a bit strange because she's not used to the concept of solid matter, for one thing, or permanence, or individuality. So everything is very strange.
Okay. And now I have your, like, volume gain and everything back to normal, so hopefully it won't go blasting our eardrums again. Gosh, I wonder what's going on there. Audio is sorcery. Okay. Xander chuckled.
I think we found your true destiny. Can you imagine your future self, the angel one, running around with a pitchfork?
Mickey pouted. She had a magic spear instead, a glowy one. Buffy turned her attention back to the screen. The summoning trick. Can you do that here? Anytime, I mean, like right now? I usually save it for when there's trouble, but okay. Mickey reached out a hand and felt the connection to her fork. She slowly started to clench her fingers, then stopped when she felt Buffy stiffen beside her. Wait, grated the Slayer. Stop, just a second. Mickey released it and nodded. I thought that might happen. You can sense evil, right? Oop, wrong window. Buffy made a face. Well, not really. Supernatural evil a bit, but it'd have to be something really nasty. Mickey pouted. You can detect me. Only when you're full of evil magic. Oh, yeah, okay. Well, my fork is from hell, so that's probably why you can feel it. Giles took off his glasses and began to polish.
She could simply tell us what powers the fork possesses, and we'll forego a demonstration for the time being.
Mickey shrugged. It's a fork. You can stab things or hit things.
You mentioned it being magical?
I can teleport it into my hand anytime I want. It's unbreakable, and it's a magic weapon. It'll hurt things that can't normally be hurt. Why not just watch and see it in action?
Fair enough, I suppose.
In the end, Jack ended the fight by biting the speedster in the back of the leg. He healed up from that in a couple of weeks, grumbled Mickey. The rest of the hooded goons got off lightly. Just a few bruises, lacerations, and maybe some broken bones. After that, the imp and the wolf dusted themselves off and ran away, just in case the MCO came asking questions. MCO, what does that stand for? That's probably it.
The Mutant Commission Office.
Ah, Mutant Commission Office, okay. Not the Marvel Comics office. Or the military commanding officer.
Mickey can never remember the middle word. It's always the mutant something office.
Evil as defined by the Shadow Man. He was reminded we're a cabal of Stone Age magic users willing to sacrifice a young girl in order to create an obedient super soldier. Oh, was that the origin of the Slayer? Ah. The next scene took place in a fantastically decorated palace, and from the color scheme, Giles immediately surmised this was the home of Queen Mania and her supernaturally seductive spawn. He paused the tape.
Perhaps we should take a short break.
He glanced at Mickey imploringly, but the devil girl just shrugged. I don't know what memory this is. I was there for quite a while, so this could be anything. It'd be nice to see some of my friends, though. I haven't seen most of those guys for ages. Giles reached for the controls, then hesitated.
Wait, what do you mean, most?
Mickey was minding her own business when about a dozen picture-perfect teenage lust monsters melted out of the stonework and circled her. A classic high school ambush. The scene that followed contained some of the bitchiest bullying any of them had ever seen. A bevy of physically perfect females mocked Mickey's hair, her stature, her childish innocence, her eating habits, her lack of education, her lack of magical ability, and her general inexperience. At one point, 2 of the succubi were calling her skinny and chubby at the same time. Mickey sat watching the screen with a frown on her face. I don't remember it being like that, she said. Or I don't remember remembering it being like that. I thought the other girls were fun. Willow laid a hand on the imp's knee. I think I'd have suppressed that memory too. But it wasn't like that. I wanted to be a succubus. They were so cool and pretty. What about your destiny? I thought you knew you were going to escape with Jack. Willow furrowed her brow. That's what you said in your story. I knew I'd be leaving, but I thought I'd be a succubus by then. I mean, how hard could it be? Giggle a bit, be really pretty, shake your boobs. Job done, right? Willow shot Xander a frown as the boy made a peculiar strangled noise. Anyway, I know some of the succubi were nice. I know what happened here now. Roll the tape. Let's meet Taradesh. Taradesh was special. She was a dark-skinned woman, tall and elegant, with tumbling waves of dark hair. She wasn't monstrously tall or powerfully built, like, say, Tasabejan, but she commanded respect from the other girls, at least to her face. Unlike the brash, domineering bitchiness of the common succubi, Taradesh was warm, friendly, and kind, which some foolish demons mistook for weakness. That didn't bother her unless they pushed too far, in which case she would show them the error of their assumptions. Taradesh was more powerful, both physically and magically, than any 2 of her theoretical sisters. Do you want a chance at this one, or?
Oh, I'm not trying to do Taradesh's voice.
Okay, okay, so
Sexy pearl,
dangerous but warm devil woman. Okay.
No, she's just kind of nice.
That's just kind of nice. Okay. Alright. Leave her alone, you guys, purred the taller woman, moving through the group like a hunting cat. The talents you take for granted aren't easy to learn from scratch. And this is, let's see, this is just a random succubus?
Yep. Random bitchites.
I don't know why the Queen allows aspirants from outside the family. It's stupid. Only Mania's children can ever be true succubi. And incubi. Oh yeah, that would work. You can do incubi. Sure, go for it.
And incubi.
Damn, I mean, I don't get to be the sex demons. Ugh. Piped up a male voice. Let's see, and this is bitch succubus again. Other demons, especially mortal devils, and even more especially imps, should stick to what they're good at. Taradesh raised an eyebrow. And what's that? The speaker, a slender blonde girl, shrugged disdainfully. Don't know, don't care. Getting old and ugly and dead. What is Yuzu gaping at over there? I've maybe not been keeping up as well with the chat. Something sounds like fun, but I'm not sure what. Let's see. Taradesh shrugged, drawing attention to one of her unique features. Instead of powerful leather wings, she had 6 long purple ribbons that grew from her back and shoulders. They flowed around her as she walked, drifting absently in her wake. Ah, so like a Diablo angel, but darkened. Now, though, they lashed out like whips, snaring the unfortunate blonde around the wrists, knees, waist, and throat. Without so much as a gesture, the girl was lifted bodily into the air, struggling and shouting. Put me down, you crazy bitch! I thought you might like to go tell the Queen what you think of her recruitment practices. I think Mickey would like to see that. Wouldn't you, Mickey? Mickey, for her part, merely shrugged. Do I have to? It sounds boring. I suppose you're right. A flex of the shoulders set the blonde free, and Taradesh took the imp by the hand. You're an interesting kid. I think you've got potential. Let's go somewhere and talk. Oh, you like the Taradesh voice I came up with? Okay. See, half the time I don't even know if I'm sufficiently distinguishing my voices from one another, so I'm glad it's working. So Buffy's voice and my narrator voice are pretty much the same, for instance. I always struggle with, what do I actually do for Buffy?
Yeah, but that works in context.
Right, okay, because it's kind of the Buffy story, right? Yeah.
It is a Buffy story, so yeah, right, it still works.
Yeah. So, began Buffy, she's different to the others somehow. I can't quite put my finger on it. It's a secret, replied Miki, but she's really nice. Did you see her earring? All those gold discs with the faces on them? Those are souls she's captured. That's why she's so powerful. Giles scribbled a note.
I rather thought the succubi claimed souls in the name of their mother, the Queen. Why would Taradesh be allowed to keep some for herself?
Mickey grinned, then quickly clammed up. It's a secret. Please don't ask me again. Okay, and that's the end of the chapter. Alright, I would like to take a short break here. That was a fairly long chapter with a lot of different voices, and I got rolling without eating anything. We still have some time to go a little bit longer, right?
Yep.
Okay, so I am going to have put on the music, have a quick snack, be back in, I don't know, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, something like that. And we will do another chapter. Until then, my friends, hang tight. Music, music, music. Push play button, push BRB scene. There we go. Alright, I am back at last. I don't even know how long that break was, but that was enough for me to snarf a very simple breakfast. And so, I am ready to resume. Now, I know the timing is a little weird today, what with the United States fucking with our clocks again. How much time do you have left before you need to get rolling, John?
Do another 50 minutes. I think we can get another chapter done.
Okay. So another chapter worth should be fine. Okay.
This one all seems to be memory segments.
All memory segments, okay. Okay. Chapter 55 is titled Super Deadly. Oh, and now my cat is in here again. Meow. Okay. Giles scribbled in his notebook. As expected, the video was unearthing more and more things they didn't know, both about the imp herself and the wider world, or worlds, she'd experienced. All of it fascinating, most of it horrifying, or potentially so. Buffy, Willow, and Xander were all worryingly quiet, each alone with their thoughts despite sitting in close proximity. The Watcher wondered if this viewing might have been an unhealthy idea after all, despite his best intentions. Mickey, for her part, seemed quite happy to chat about her past. If the awkward silence bothered her, she wasn't showing it. She took advantage of Xander's 1,000-yard stare to reach over and grab some more popcorn from the bucket on his lap. Next bit, please. Jack and Mickey were in the park again, and once again, Jack was on 4 legs. This time, instead of fighting hostile lunatics, they chased each other in circles, raced back and forth down the pathways, and played hide-and-seek in the bushes. It looked like great fun. That answers one thing, said the wolf, grinning toothily. You're a superhuman, and I'm super lupine. I wish there were some wolves here so I could show off. You mean some lady wolves? Teased the imp. I'm faster, stronger, and tougher than a wolf should ever be. I could be the alpha of any pack I walked into. But I'd rather stick with you, kid. Their attempts at playing hide-and-seek hit a couple of snags. Jack seemed to find Mickey easily, and eventually admitted that not only could he track her by scent, her hotter-than-human body stood out clearly in the infrared spectrum, which his enhanced vision could pick out quite easily. Oh, fun part of that story. So Mickey had open conversations with Jack, but nobody else could hear him. So she was... it's like hearing one half of a telephone conversation, but she's clearly talking to a dog. More baffling was Jack's lack of success hiding from Mickey. No matter how long she counted, usually until she was bored, since her grasp of numbers was shaky at best, no matter how far he ran or what he found to hide behind, she always turned and made a beeline directly to his hiding spot. How are you doing that? He asked. I don't know, she replied. It's not my fault. You're always in the first place I look. Jack lay down in the soft grass to think, while Mickey played in some tall trees, alternately climbing and teleporting from branch to branch. That's about when we started to realize when we'd gotten tangled up, explained Mickey. You can find me just by wondering where I am, but it took him a while to pick it up. He's got that nose and infrared vision, too, added Willow. Yeah, that was the problem. It took him ages to stop trying and just let it work. It sounds like the cat thinks Mickey's voice is cat noises. That's funny. Yeah, that's Autumn, our old lady. She's like probably going on 16 years old. Still pretty healthy for all that. She's got some kind of problem with the litter box these days. I gotta keep cleaning up after her. But and last time she was in at the vet for blood work and everything, the vet said that she was doing remarkably well, so she's chugging along.
I'm old, I don't have to follow your rules anymore.
Right, yeah. Elevator doors slid open with a subtle whoosh. Mickey followed an older gentleman out into a long rectangular room, with Jack padding alongside. The high ceiling was almost entirely composed of wide lighting panels. The walls were white, one long side tiled with meter-square glossy plastic slabs, while the other three presented a more conventional paint finish. The floor was a multi-level jungle of metal grills and black rubber matting. A black mesh fenced off the far end of the room. And everywhere, literally everywhere she looked, there were machines. Banks of monitors, arrays of blinking lights, oscilloscopes, crackling power coils, gently humming cubes with no markings. Jack shook his head, looking dizzy. If this was regular science, Mickey was the Pope. The older man waved them on and called out,
You do this guy, I will do Dr. Simon.
Okay. Dr. Simon, you have guests. A man rolled into view on a typist's chair. He smiled as he saw them, lurched to his feet, and hurried over.
Roger, it is good to see you. Introduce me to your friends, please.
Roger stepped aside. Jack, Mickey, this is Dr. Nathan Simon. He is one half of the team here. He'll be running the conventional MCO-approved tests to evaluate your powers and whatnot. Nathan, this is Jack Gray, a wolf with the mind of a man, and Makisha Nichols, who may or may not be a devil. Mickey quickly sized up the scientist, even as the man did the same to them. He was kinda tallish, solidly built, just starting to get old. His blonde hair was turning to silver, but his eyes and jerky movements made him seem young and enthusiastic.
These are interesting things, yes.
Oh gosh. You're back to volume blasting.
Move it away.
Okay, so yeah, does it just have to do with how close you are to the microphone?
I'm not moving.
Weird. What is going on then, I wonder? I guess I need to set up 2 sets of filters, one for when you're in normal mode and one when you're in booming mode, which just randomly happens. Okay. Let's see how that goes. Alright. He said. There are interesting things, yes, he said. Okay. Let's try to pick it up from there. Uh-oh. And now I'm not hearing you at all. John! Come back to us.
Hello?
There you are. Okay.
Am I? Oh, yes, I'm here. Okay, good.
Okay. And I think it is a normal version of you. So,
Open up, so.
Okay. So let's try to continue with the dialogue and see where things land.
But not my field. I shall be testing the powers only today. The dimensional things I shall leave to my colleague.
He gestured vaguely toward the fenced-off area, and Mickey turned to look. The far side of the lab was deserted, apart from a pair of red leather boots poking out from under a cylindrical machine. She glanced over at Jack, who raised a brow. Dr. Simon sighed.
I shall call. One moment.
He cleared his throat.
Dr. Shaquan, we have guests. They wish to play with your machines.
The boots withdrew, and a woman appeared at the fence. She wore a lab coat, tall red boots with spike heels, and her black hair was drawn up through metal tubes to hang as long tapering bunches. Mickey gasped as the woman slid the fence aside and walked over. Eustace? Mickey broke into a run and leapt, catching the baffled woman in a hug. Yay, you're here! How did you get here? I haven't seen you in ages! Her enthusiasm faltered as the woman gently peeled herself free. Eustace? Yes, I'm sorry. Have we met? Everybody looked at Mickey, who just shrugged. It's complicated. She explained it, but I don't remember any of the science stuff. I'm pretty sure it was all just hooey anyhow. Verity told me once that she went to the other worlds and copied anything that looked cool, so that probably includes people. It's called pattern theory, Eustace explained. Essentially, every person exists in some form in many more dimensions than the handful we experience directly. Conventional science has proved the existence of 10 dimensions, and there are many more. Infinitely more. And every person, every action exists and influences events in those dimensions to some degree. The effect is akin to ripples in a pond. Dimensions with the closest ties to you are affected the most, while to the vast majority you barely exist. Dr. Simon wheeled over some chairs, and they sat while the woman tried to explain something important. Mickey held up a hand. But we know you! There was a you where we just came from. Same name, same code name, same hairstyle, same goggles. Coincidence. Do you have superpowers? Our Eustace could run really fast, and she stayed up all night inventing stuff and drinking energy drinks. Eustace colored slightly, but continued undaunted. It is easy to imagine that the 3 so-called physical dimensions are all there is, but there could easily be other groups of dimensions that interact together in a similar fashion. Who's to say that the creatures of those dimensions do not believe theirs is the only true reality? Yes, alternate realities, dimensional clusters, analogous to our own, must exist, somewhere in the infinite scope of the omniverse. And there's another one of you. Perhaps this cluster is nearby, and my pattern happens to intersect both realities. I do not know, but rest assured I shall be investigating it thoroughly. She stood up suddenly. After we have performed a full spectrum of tests on yourselves. She picked up a clipboard and squinted at it. Now then, which of you is Jack Gray? Mickey, I need interference. Mickey flung her opponent to the ground and spun around to face Jack. He was facing off against 2 mutant bad guys, one in spiky red armor and one wearing smooth white plastic plates. Jack used his lightning to keep the pair at bay, zapping the white one, but the red-armored guy raised his hands in the universal gesture of, I'm about to zap you with something nasty. Mickey teleported in to distract the guy, and immediately lunged her fork at his stomach. He blocked her attack and tried to kick her in the head. He was quick, but she was quick too, and she ducked out of the way. He still had his bad mojo ready, so he hurled it at Mickey. She teleported to a spot some way behind him, well clear of the flamethrower blast he projected from his hands. The fire splashed over the ground uselessly, and Mickey grinned. Cool! Rather than turn and look for her, the fiery mutant gestured with both hands and wreathed himself in flame, a clever defensive measure against most enemies. Not this time. Mickey zipped in and stabbed the back of his leg. His armor bristled with long, jagged spikes, and her fork snagged against them, shearing a couple off, but doing no real damage. The flames intensified and billowed out in all directions, and the guy magically bulked himself up, swelling with additional muscle. Even the spikes on his armor grew thicker and nastier. He let out a bestial roar and whirled around with a massive two-fisted punch. Mickey's tail touched the truck behind her, so she knew there was nowhere to dodge. She teleported at the last second, letting the monster crunch his own vehicle. He snarled as she went at him again, this time from the side, aiming for the classic weak spot under the armpit. He was wise to it, obviously experienced and well-trained. He clamped his arm to his side, batting at her fork, but this time Mickey stood her ground and kept on stabbing until she managed to dig the fork in beneath his bicep, tearing off one of the plates. The armor was organic, or manifested. It came off with a layer of the guy's skin. He roared in pain and backed away, forming his fiery power into a circular wall of flame several yards in diameter. It should have kept her out. It didn't. She was already inside the circle, crouched low to the ground behind him. She swung her fork into the side of his knee, and he buckled, armor and bone creaking in protest. He lunged back at her in response, swinging a huge flaming fist. Mickey backflipped, dodging high into the air. It was a feint, and he took it, pushing out a stream of white-hot flame with his other hand. Mickey teleported 6 feet to the side, reversed her rotation, and brought the fork down, points first, stabbing deep into his left shoulder. The fiery giant went down on one knee, and Mickey tugged at the fork. He tried to grab her, and she abandoned the weapon, dancing back out of his reach. "Watch your 6." Mickey teleported without hesitation, and watched as a new enemy dropped on the spot she just vacated, in a kick that would have broken her back. It was a young woman in a ragged martial arts outfit. She landed in a tuck and roll instead, springing up into a determined combat stance. Mickey mirrored it, and the woman smiled beneath her red eye mask. "Bring it on." Or is this Mickey saying bring it on? No.
This is
Okay.
the new bot.
Okay.
This is an angry, red-headed lady.
Okay. They closed to within striking range and traded a few punches and kicks. Mickey managed to keep up her defense and tested a variety of offensive styles in reply. The woman took a half-step back and gave her a grudging nod. Pleasantries over with, they closed again and the fight began in earnest. The initial blows were countered by blocks and dodges, until the woman landed a lucky low kick to Mickey's shin that threw her off balance. Mickey turned the stumble into a lunge and lashed an open-handed blow at the woman's cheek. The fight paused as the woman touched her face and felt blood. Mickey gave her a little wave, claws spread, and the woman scowled. "Oh, it's on now, kid." "Fresh blood," replied Mickey, shaking the kink out of her leg. "Wanna stop?" Apparently she didn't. The woman surged forward with a flurry of punches, a combination of angles and targets that concentrated on speed rather than power, until she overwhelmed Mickey's defenses and slipped past her guard with a snaking left-hander to the face. Mickey ducked her head into the punch, taking it on a horn, and the woman yelled with pain. "Ah, fuck!" She skipped backward, clenching and unclenching her fist. Her eyes flicked to Mickey's forehead, and she quickly realized what had happened. "Tricky little bitch," she drawled. "What else you got?" Mickey struck a dramatic pose. "I'm Zaradai, and I'm super deadly." "Yeah? Well, I'm a Frey, and I'll make sure they carve that on your headstone." "Hey, cool, thanks." Mickey glanced over at Jack, who was busy dragging the white-armored guy over to the fire-throwing guy. If he got close enough, he'd be able to zap them both at once with his lightning. Mickey just had to keep this woman busy for a while. The woman, a Frey, switched up her style and rejoined combat. Mickey spotted an opening for an easy strike, and she took it, zooming forward with a low punch to the stomach. A Frey curved back out of the way, obviously expecting the blow, and swung her knee up towards Mickey's chin. The imp wasn't just blessed with reflexes, however. She snapped out her wings, pulling herself backward, and the jaw-breaking strike barely made contact. She immediately flexed her wings the other way, lunging back after the danger had passed, and this time her punch to the stomach landed with force. Mickey followed it up with a reverse punch to the solar plexus. The woman let out a whiff of air and raised a fist but resisted the urge to punch down onto those horns again. Instead, she swung a brutal roundhouse into Mickey's ear. Close and committed as she was, she could only roll with the punch, throwing herself sideways to minimize the impact. Well, that and slice Ephraim's shin open with her tail. Ephraim frowned, sizing up her opponent. After a second, she relaxed, lowering her guard just a little. "You're pretty good," she admitted. "Good? I'm freaking awesome!" At fighting, I mean. You know, for a kid. Mickey shrugged. "You should see me when I'm really trying." Huh. Funny. "Stop messing around and kick her ass already." "Alright, I was going to." Afraid gave her a quizzical look. Mickey shrugged. "Jack says I'm supposed to be kicking your ass." The scene blurred and faded to gray, so Giles paused the tape and turned to the others. Mickey and Buffy both looked pumped, for want of a better word, caught up in the thrill of the fight. Xander was vaguely cheering Mickey on, but he looked a little shaken after seeing the violence from Makisha's own vantage point. Watching a hero fight monsters was exciting, in theory, but experiencing it firsthand with all the shock and ferocity was something else entirely. Willow, for her part, looked positively sick, and Giles felt his heart go out to the girl for her caring nature. Willow was obviously fond of the little imp, and seeing her face so much danger, one terrifying foe after another, was heartbreaking. Was this really what life was like under Jack's care? Life in Sunnydale must seem positively quaint by comparison. The local vampires were certainly no challenge, compared to some of the things he'd watched on the tape. Makisha's last two foes, the red-armored man and especially the woman, were officially superhuman, with combat skills far beyond those of standard humanity. The armored man reacted to Makisha's teleportation as though he'd fought against similar opponents before, and maybe he had. Giles looked forward to analyzing the various combat styles to see if there was anything he could incorporate into Buffy's training.
Shall we pause for refreshments? I can put the kettle on if anyone wants tea.
Xander looked down at his bucket in bemusement.
I seem to be out of popcorn, somehow.
Phew, okay. That was chapter 55. And
That was hard work, I could tell. But yeah, wow, whole fight scene. Nice.
All right. And was this where you wanted to wrap up then?
That was 2,700 words. This one's 3,500. This is quite a lot longer.
Okay.
You could stop here if you like.
I don't particularly need to after having that break. I'm more keeping an eye on your time concerns.
Let's go for it.
Okay. All right, one more chapter then. Try to keep to our 3 per session pace wherever possible. All right, so chapter 56 is What Did You Do? I don't get it, began Buffy during a lull in the conversation. What was the deal with the bears? Was there something in particular, or are you just, I don't know, scared of bears? Xander nodded along. He'd been wondering the same thing.
Jack seemed to handle them easily enough.
Mickey shrugged and looked at her boots. Bears are scary, she replied in a small voice. Jack's not scared of him, though, because Jack's not scared of anything. Not bears, not spiders, not even angels. The group shared a look. Maybe Jack was more, human than Mickey believed. Giles cleared his throat.
This scientist woman, Eustace, she invented impossible machines?
Yeah, it was different on Verity's world. She could use magic and stuff there, but the other fusion had a mutant power that let her modify the rules of physics a bit, so her machines would work better. Laws, corrected Willow. It's laws of physics. Mickey blinked. Oh, I thought it was rules. Meant to be broken, you know? No, laws. And no, they're not made to be broken. Giles tapped his pen against his pad meaningfully.
Yes. You also mentioned that she could run very fast. Do you mean world championship level or something superhuman?
Mickey shrugged. Oh, way super fast. Like whoosh! The imp swung her arm around to indicate something flitting across the room in the blink of an eye. She said it was some kind of inertia power, so she can go instantly fast and then instantly stop. It's really cool. Buffy raised an eyebrow. I bet that'd be useful in a fight.
Or for running away.
Chimed in Xander. Willow was still frowning. What kind of machines did she make to need different laws of physics? I don't know, really. I don't know what stuff should be possible and what isn't. The science here seems kind of lame compared to the places I'm used to, but I don't know if I'm used to future stuff or super stuff. Giles frowned.
Or a combination of the two, such as your handgun.
Oh, that's not super. It's just magnets. Giles wrote that down, though he had no idea what to make of it.
Who are those supervillains?
Asked Xander once the hubbub had settled.
Did you ever find out what they wanted?
Mickey scowled. They wanted their heads kicking in. Their leader was called Dragonhide. The robot guy was called Iborg, and the fighty lady was called Afray. But later on she changed her name to Dragon Bride and got herself a new suit. Dragon Bride? Willow blinked. They got married? That's kinda sweet. No, she was on some kind of quest to find him, because after the fight they never found his body. You killed him? Mickey nodded. Oh yeah, I killed him super dead. Unless he regenerated or something. I don't know what his powers were, apart from get really big and make fire. They were both buttheads, they deserve each other. And Iborg was a robot? Kinda sorta, yeah, replied Mickey evasively. He was still kicking about afterward. Afraid kept him around as a sidekick or whatever. So she came after you for revenge? Buffy leaned forward. That woman's combat skills had been impressive, and the fight scenes still had her adrenaline going. Mickey merely shrugged, however. Nope, she was certain that Dragonhide had lost his memory, or gone into hiding, or was horribly scarred and needed her help or something. She'd pull the occasional big job and make some noise and keep his memory alive. But she was really just a nuisance by then, even with the flamethrowers. Good thing you're immune to fire. Mostly immune to fire. And cold. Lots of cold in hell. Not immune to lightning, though. She frowned. I should be immune to lightning by now, right? I've been zapped loads of times. Willow snorted. That's not how antibodies work. Mickey sighed. That's the problem with science. Just when you think you figured something out, that's not how it works. Stuff hardly ever works out the way I want it to. That's why I prefer magic. Oh? If you're powerful enough, you can just bully stuff into working. Giles coughed.
I think that's rather an oversimplification.
Mostly immune, isn't that just resistance? I think, resistance high enough that you wouldn't notice it otherwise, yeah, it's basically, so resistant that, yeah, it would take extraordinary circumstances to pierce through it. Well, sure, but that's why you have the word mostly. Yeah, yeah. Ignore most yeah, right. As opposed to resistance, yeah, if we're talking in tabletop terms, it's yeah, resistance usually means that you ignore some percentage of a thing, right? poison is 75% effective against you because you have 25% poison resistance, that kind of thing. So if you just like get dosed and dosed and dosed, it's just gonna build up and still kill you. Yeah. Instead of take 1% damage, she ignores 90% of fire things. Yeah. Okay. If you're powerful enough, repeated Mickey. If you want it enough, you can do whatever you want. Make your own rules.
If you say so.
Xander chose that moment to stand up and stretch.
Man, it feels like I've been sat here for days.
He reached around for an itch beneath his shoulder blade and yelped as Buffy started tugging at his t-shirt. What's this on your back? Demanded the Slayer. Xander?
What? What's what? On my back?
He twisted uselessly as if that would help.
There's something on my back? Get it off. What is it?
The girls rose and helped him take off his shirt. Giles hovered closer, frowning, while Mickey just sat back with a grin plastered all over her face.
Good Lord,
muttered the Watcher.
It looks like a magic circle.
Willow squeaked in horror. You got a tattoo? Xander paled.
No, I mean, I don't think so.
He turned to Mickey, eyes wide.
Did I?
The imp shook her head. It's not a tattoo, she reassured him, but it should be permanent. Ish?
What? What's that mean?
Buffy rolled her eyes. It means she used permanent markers. It'll fade, but it won't wash off, or not easily. Giles narrowed his eyes.
I don't recognize these symbols. What is this? What have you done?
It's a circle of protection. I don't know how much it'll do, but I figured it'd be a good way to say thanks for all the stuff he's been doing at my cave. Xander pulled a face.
You drew on me?
Giles nodded, distracted.
It appears so. But surely you realize you can't just draw a circle on somebody and expect it to work. I assume there needs to be some ritual, some form of activation spell.
Mickey shook her head. It's a magic circle. I tried to put a little of my own magic into it, but mostly I figured it'd just work by itself, because I used some magic markers to do it. Buffy groaned. Magic markers aren't magic. What? But that's... why are they called magic markers if they're not magic? Mickey folded her arms and sulked. Giles quietly left the room to boil the kettle while Xander pulled his shirt back on. Willow reached out a hand and stopped him. Hold on just a second there, mister, she growled. How the heck did she draw all this on your back without you noticing? Xander blushed, then paled.
I must have fallen asleep.
He ventured.
After all that building? In Mickey's place?
His voice rose in pitch, each word less convincing than the last. Buffy shook her head wearily. You slept in the bed. She came home and found you there, and she drew on your back. It's pretty obvious. Xander sighed.
I guess it is, yeah. Okay, guilty as charged.
Maybe I'll get away with it, he dared to hope. He turned to Mickey.
It's a cool idea, I guess. Why didn't you ask me, though?
It was supposed to be a surprise, grumbled the imp.
Oh, it is. But you could have told me about it when I woke up.
I forgot about it. The imp's pout intensified. You were being mean to my boobs. Nope, I'm dead. Back in the power testing lab, Eustace beckoned Mickey over while dabbling with the computer console. This, she paused for effect, is the interdimensional interface imager. The machine looked like a gigantic energy cannon, balanced atop an articulated frame and aimed at a small metal chair. You sit in the chair, I scan you, and if any single atom of your body originated in a dimensional locus other than our own, we'll know. checking the chat here. Uh, yeah, and amazingly enough, in the game NetHack, magic markers are also magic. Magic markers are what you use to write scrolls, to write magic spell scrolls.
I have so many magic markers.
Okay. Mickey tilted her head back and looked up and up at the machine. It's pretty scary. I imagine so, but it's perfectly safe. I can scan Roger first if you like. At her side, Roger blinked and started to rise, but Mickey stepped ahead of him. No, that's okay. I can do it. She plonked herself into the chair, swinging her legs as she squinted into the machine's focusing array. Scan me. Activating. Eustace hit a key and the chair was bathed in pulses of colored light. Mickey froze in place, suddenly immobile. Stasis field active, engaging probe. Mickey could only stare as the massive device rotated in place, directing a beam of shocking white light onto her chest. Calibration in 3, 2, 1, mark. The machine swung in the air, and the beam split into a grid. Waves of light and sound assaulted her senses, along with the feeling in her gut of unutterable wrongness, as though the core of the earth was rotten and toxic. As suddenly as it had begun, the feeling left her, and the machine shut down with an echoing hiss. The lights shut off, and Mickey blinked. Well, what's happening? Eustace studied her console. Now we wait while the system processes it and comes up with answers. Ah, here we go. She took a tablet device from her belt and made a few quick gestures on the screen. Very interesting. There are traces of extra-dimensional matter in your body and clothing. Mickey shrugged blankly, so Roger asked the question. Was Roger me or you? I forget. Roger is Ad?
Roger is the guy that Addy was doing earlier.
What does that mean exactly? It means these two probably aren't crazy. They really have been to or come from another dimension. She squinted at Mickey warily. The confusing thing is, I've got two traces here, radically different. The clothing resonates like Kilo 971, while the organic tissue is basically local, but there's some faint resonance which I've traced back to somewhere between toroidal 16G and mauve. Mauve? Whined Willow plaintively. There's a dimension called mauve? Mickey shrugged. Don't ask me. I'm not really into science stuff. The scene was familiar. It was the same fight as earlier with the martial artist, the white-armored dude, and the flamethrower guy. It looked like the heroes were losing. Mickey was reeling after a flurry of punches from a fray. Before the woman could press the advantage, however, there was a loud boom and a flash. Mickey and the woman were both struck by a hail of shotgun pellets. Fray cried out and spun to the ground. Mickey yelped as well, thrown off balance by the impact. She was bleeding, a lot, and her pulse pounded loud in her ears as she tried to get her bearings. The fire guy was pointing a shotgun in her direction, the muzzle huge and menacing. It boomed again, and this time Mickey was thrown onto her back in a welter of blood. She squirmed onto her side, trying to get her powers in gear so she could teleport away or something. Jack howled in rage, and Mickey caught sight of him rearing to spring over and exact revenge. Before he could, the white-armored guy sat up sharply and grabbed him by the leg. Jack struggled, but the white guy was some kind of cyborg or robot. He was massively strong. He grabbed a handful of fur with his other hand and hurled Jack bodily through the air. The wolf slammed into the side of the villain's truck with a sickening thud, then hit the street and didn't move. This time Mickey howled in rage. Jack! No! The red villain threw down his gun and ran to help Affray, paying no attention to Mickey as she tried to crawl through a pool of her own blood, hiking little gasps of pain with every movement.
Are you okay?
Oh, you can take him? Go for it.
Yeah, jump in. Are you okay?
The guy asked the woman. Afraid grinned through bloody teeth. You know me, boss. Strong to the finish. Help me up. Instead, he toined and... He toined! He toined and punted. He toined and punted. No, it toined. It's like I was trying badly. Couldn't do like a Jersey accent badly. Anyway. Instead, he turned and pointed to Makisha.
Ibog,
He commanded.
kill that thing. Break her neck.
The white armored guy got to his feet. The white armored guy.
Oh, Jesus.
And turned his softly glowing white eyes on Mickey. Affirmative. The image juddered, blurred, and resumed. Everybody was too intent on the action to question it, even after there was a slight jump. The woman, Afraid, was barely standing, bloody and bruised. Mickey had her fork at the ready, about to deliver a killing blow. She was distracted, however, by a loud metallic crunch, and turned her head to check if it was another enemy. A powerfully built man had just landed on the bad guy's truck. He wore a skin-tight black costume, with a white mask over his eyes and big white gloves with cowboy-style tassels. He glared and pointed an open hand her way. "Cool hand!" murmured Mickey, sounding pleased. You want to be cool hand or me?
No, you do cool hand. He's just a generic superhero guy.
All right. Saratai! He yelled. Down! Mickey promptly dropped to the ground as a fizzing white beam whooshed overhead. It was aimed at Afraid, but would have hit Mickey if she hadn't moved. Afraid also managed to roll clear, and a patch of the road was instantly coated in a thick layer of ice. Cool Hand fired a second bolt of ice from his other hand, but the fire guy was surrounded by walls of flame. The beam fizzled out midair. Jack Gray was keeping him distracted, though, and after a moment he dropped his flames to deal with the wolf. So Cool Hand turned both beams on the gang leader, encasing him in ice instantly, before turning the ice ray back toward Mickey and Afraid. The beam passed within inches of the pair, who yelled in alarm as they dodged. Afraid spotted her boss's fate and gave an anguished cry. She immediately forgot about Mickey and charged at the new threat. Cool Hand, true to his name, used his power to create huge icy talons over his clenched fists and leapt down to meet her. With everybody else distracted or frozen, Jack took a second to check on Mickey. Are you okay, kiddo? He asked, loping to her side. She looked down at herself. Her costume was full of holes, shredded down one side and slick with blood, but her skin seemed to be intact. Yeah, I'm fine, I think. What happened? What did you do? Mickey pulled a face, then shrugged. I'm not sure. Everything was hurting, and then everything got better. Maybe I did some magic? Zach. Well, okay, probably a good thing this is the last chapter, because my tongue's getting tied. Jack somehow managed a wolfy grimace. His muzzle was matted with blood, and some of it was his own, but he seemed to be spry and healthy. We're gonna have to investigate this, but later. Mickey nodded. Threats? Just the one now. Go help Cool Hand keep her busy. And if there's an opening, I'll take her hamstrings. Mickey gave a nod, then teleported into battle. The first Afraid knew of her return was the butt end of a pitchfork knocking out 2 of her teeth in mid-leap. Mickey heard Jack bite back a laugh. Cool Hand had been doing his best to pin Afraid down. She was too fast, too mobile, dodging his attacks and fighting back with agility and aggression. Now that Mickey was back in the mix, he instead found himself struggling just to keep up, the fight sweeping back and forth across the street in a dizzying, high-speed brawl. Jack kept his distance, angling to surprise Afraid if he got a chance. He dashed past the wrecked truck and threaded his way around the frozen villains. Cool Hand had apparently dumped a ton of ice onto the white-armored cyborg at some point, and most of the goons were broken and dead, some layered in blasts of ice, some still merrily ablaze following the mutant flamethrower's earlier rampage. Mickey, watch out! Fire guy's not dead. Mickey spun just in time to see Dragonhide's icy prison erupt in a pillar of flame. Afraid half turned, her face lighting up with relief, until Cool Hand used the distraction and froze her with a casual gesture. Jack was dazed by the explosion, and quick as a flash, the armored mutant was upon him, pinning him down with a knee and punching him in the head. Ow! Shit! Get off me! Sparks danced from Jack's fur, but he was too dazed to muster a proper charge. Mickey let out a screech and hurled her fork like a spear. Dragonhide surged to his feet and dived clear, but the imp teleported to intercept. She grabbed his elbow and ducked, turning the roll into a throw that propelled the villain into the air, away from Jack. "Are you okay?" she asked, keeping her eyes open for danger. Dragonhide twisted in the air and landed heavily. Corpses crunched beneath his armored bulk as he rolled awkwardly to his feet. Cool Hand had tagged him in midair, encasing his arm in ice, but he freed it with a contemptuous flash of fire.
Cool Hand,
he sneered. Dragonhide? Cool Hand hovered a few meters in the air like Superman and nodded to the other two villains frozen in place. I got your buddies. Want to try your luck thawing them out, before they suffocate? Dragonhide's sneer turned into a scowl, but he kept his attention on the flying hero. The others were a distraction, and he couldn't afford to blink. Instead, he raised both hands and unleashed a broad sheet of flame.
Ice meets fire, asshole.
Cool Hand responded with a similarly sized spray of cold, filling the air with supercooled moisture. The air filled with smoke and steam, and Jack coughed. We'd better move, or those idiots will boil us alive. Mickey nodded and kept a hand on Jack's shoulder as they felt their way through the billowing steam. Dragonhide, somewhere within the cloud, was presumably immune to the heat, but the bodies on the ground began to spit and sizzle. He and Cool Hand matched power as fire to ice, but suddenly the steam was joined by a wide wall of flame that appeared between the two, blocking the view completely and raising the temperature yet further. Cool Hand landed and created a low wall of ice around himself in an attempt to smother the flames. Within the flames, Dragonhide drew a deep breath, readying one last deceptive gamble to overwhelm his cryokinetic opponent. He didn't realize Makisha had teleported into his circle, playing a deceptive gamble of her own. "Hey!" she called. "You!" Dragonhide bit back a curse and glanced around at the interruption.
What the?
Mickey stretched out her hands, now clad in armor that mimicked his own, nobbled, organic, unmistakable. She growled at him before summoning her pitchfork with a snap of her fingers. The weapon instantly materialized in her grip, the lethal points glowing white-hot as she spun it in lazy arcs. The mutant's eyes bulged in astonishment. For all he knew, Mickey had copied his powers in their entirety. He changed his plan in an instant and launched a searing streak of flame at the imp, all the power he'd been building up to kill Cool Hand in a single deadly lance. Asphalt bubbled and nearby windows ran like syrup, but of course Mickey wasn't there anymore. He'd already shown that he knew how to fight teleporters, and after watching her scrap with a fray, he was ready for the extremely predictable teleport backstab. He span, quick as a snake, blocked the attack and snatched the fork out of her hands. Mickey feigned surprise as he it around overhead and drove it down at her throat. The fork vanished, turning to vapor in mid-thrust, leaving him overextended and wide open. It reappeared in Mickey's hands, points upward. Using his own downward momentum, she sprung up under his guard, giving a guttural shout as she rammed the points through his breastplate, neatly puncturing his heart and both lungs. Dragonhide gasped once. The wall of fire flared in a final spasm of power, then sputtered out. A second later, Cool Hand's ice beam lanced through the smoke. The temperature dropped hundreds of degrees with a sound like a thunderclap. Dragonhide's flash-frozen corpse flew backward, slammed into a shop window, and vanished beneath 16 feet of jagged ice. Mickey shrieked and leapt backward. She had only just pulled her fork free in time. The tines were now crusted with ice. She shot Cool Hand a venomous glare, but the hero was already scanning for more targets. Okay. The man shook a few flakes of ice from his gloves. 3 mutants down. His gaze lingered on the spot where Frey had stood, but she'd thawed out and escaped. Shit. He pulled out his phone, and Jack sidled over to listen in with this super hearing. Man, she murmured to herself, that was rough. She absently kicked one of the charred bodies, dislodging a chunk of cooked meat from a leg. She stared at it. She glanced over at Jack and Cool Hand. They were busy. They'd never know. She grabbed the chunk and teleported away. There's the armor copying move. Is that just her using her clothing copy powers by sight?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, well.
Psyched him out good. She does explain later why her trick worked with the pitchfork.
What?
He knew how to fight a teleporter.
Right.
She knew.
Yeah,
he didn't know, but she knew that he knew.
Yeah, right. Gotcha. Okay. Well, next time will be chapter 57 out of 77. 20 chapters to go. Sweet. Are we, It's okay. How many more chapters of the tape scene?
I think there's just one more scene. Yeah, there's just one more scene.
Okay.
So the next chapter has one scene in it, but then a bunch of other stuff.
Okay. So we will be moving on from Giles' apartment next time, probably.
Yeah.
Okay. Chugging along. Sweet.
Oh,
all right.
Yeah. And then we get Angel doing something stupid.
Uh-oh.
Yes. Yep.
How? He doesn't normally do a lot of stupid, so when he's... Well, I will find out what the context is next time.
And finished at 7:02. Nicely done.
Is this just right when you need to get going?
Well, yeah, pretty much. Gonna
All
go
right.
Make some food.
Good. Well, thank you, as always, for joining us. Thank you also to everyone in the chat for keeping things lively there. My loyal crew of 4 or 5 people every week.
Apologies to anybody I deafened with my blaring booms.
Yeah, I mean, I did have the limiter on, so it's not like it would go above a certain level, but I think it mostly got me. I really wonder what's going on there. It's really strange. Just like, you'll be normal, and then, bwah! Like, who knows? Voltage fluctuations in the ether. All right. Yeah, and we will try to do this again next week. Unless you've got something going on next time.
Nothing planned. Nothing planned that I'm aware of.
Sounds good then. Until then, my friends, live with honor, and your heart is unassailable. Don't do anything I wouldn't do.
And always remember the first rule of engineering: always don't be on fire.
Let me go, there's no doubt. Gotta get out of this small town. You took my heart from me, now you're everywhere I see. Set me free, let me fly. Let me find new kinds of highs. We're just wasting here, waiting for another year. We both know the score. We've been here once before. So many words unspoken. You took my heart, it's already broken. You don't have to wait, I can take the pain. I will surrender, let me go on a new adventure. space, explore the world and find my place. Hope you find some peace of mind. Hope the night was worth your time. Threw my heart away, we won't see another day. We both know the score, we've been here once before. So many words unspoken, you took my heart, it's already broken. You don't have to wait, I can take the pain. I will surrender, let me go. It's a new adventure. On a new adventure. You'll find me dancing on my own. Nowhere to be, nowhere to go. In the rhythm I don't think of you. Don't call me up when you're feeling blue. You'll find me dancing on my own. Nowhere to be, nowhere to go. In the rhythm I don't think of you. Let me go. It's a new adventure. It's a new adventure. I will surrender. On a new adventure. I will surrender. Let me go. On a new adventure.